All right, everyone, this is going to be kind of a two-parter. And obviously, this is talking about money. Because here's the thing with money. Everybody knows what money is, but at the same time, we don't know what money is. Because, we usually think of money as, things that we work 8 hours to get little slips of paper that we can use to purchase the things that we want and we need, ranging from sandwiches to Xboxes to Maseratis to McMansions, all sorts of good stuff. But what is it? What is it all about? Does it have to be slips of paper? That's a question. That's actually a very old question, and a question that we'll be dabbling into a little bit this time. And then next time, I'm going to come back and we'll kind of touch on this again. Today is a bit more of kind of the big picture stuff, and then next time will be more about specific examples and all that good stuff. So first off, money. The idea of money is the definition. According to, I think Google. I forget where I grabbed this from. But money is anything commonly accepted in exchange for goods and services. So it can be really anything that people find valuable and has these certain characteristics that we're going to focus on today. So salt has been used by people for money. Pepper has been. Alcohol, when people talk about literally drinking their paycheck away, there were times where you could literally drink your paycheck. These are kind of like the fur trappers of North America when the Europeans first started to arrive to the United States. And then you can be gold coins, silver coins, paper, and I got some other examples that I'll kind of go into tomorrow because that's kind of an interesting tangent in and of itself. But some more of the big picture stuff. Money is not just something you spend. It's actually something you trade. And it's a middleman for trade. Because like me, for example, right now, my job, even though I'm kind of off the clock now, my job is to teach high school social studies. Well, how do I trade my skills at teaching high school social studies, specifically economics in this sense? How do I trade that for a sandwich? Well, money is what enables me to. Because money is actually a middleman when it comes to trade. And this is where we get the coincidence of wants, which is what we will talk about in a little bit. And for us in the United States, the dollar is managed by the Federal Reserve System, or the Fed for short. And we'll later we'll talk about that. That's a long story in and of itself. But what the Federal Reserve is a privately owned, publicly controlled central bank, specifically for the United States. There are other central banks for a lot of different countries in the world as well. And the Fed, they're the ones that actually issue paper currency known as reserve notes. This is why if you were to whip out a dollar, if you actually look at the top of your dollar, it's going to say Federal Reserve notes, because the Federal Reserve are the people that actually print our money under the behest of the U.S. Mint. It's kind of a complicated situation with a lot of dotted lines connecting things. Because again, it's one of those things. It's a long story, and it can lead you down the realm of conspiracy theorists. Some of them are actually kind of fun to entertain from time to time. So, what is a coincidence of wants? Really, you got to think about this pre-money. All right, how did people trade? Well, really, they traded by trading. And this is something that people did, not all of human history, people have traded. The farmer trades their, stuff for, they trade their grain for a hunter's meat. A blacksmith can trade, the tools for a farmer for a share of the produce. So we always trade. But what happens if, say, for example, you take a farmer and a fisherman? The farmer, they can plant their stuff, they but it takes a while. It can take a year, sometimes even longer, depending on what they're growing, before they will actually be able to harvest their crop. So what do? Do you wait a year before you can trade with the fisherman? These are real questions. Because again, what happens when, what do? And then what happens if somebody has something that you just don't want? Like someone wants, you have somebody who harvests berries. You have somebody else who makes pies. What if, the person with the berries is like, here, have my berries. Give you a pie. And the baker's like, nah, I don't want your berries. And the guy with the berries are like, well, come on, these are good berries. And the guy with the pie is like, I don't want your berries because they taste awful and they're sour and they give me, tongue cancer or something. They're not going to be able to trade. So what happens is you can have a situation like that. Or what happens if someone just doesn't have what you want? Do you go in a long series of trades in order to eventually get the thing you want? Nah, you're going to be spending your whole day just doing trading. So what happens is when the coincidence of want works, you're able to trade something you have for something that you need. Coincidence of wants at work. But when that begins to fall apart, someone does not want your berries. Someone has too many shirts. Someone, they just don't like you and they don't want to deal with it. When that coincidence of wants falls apart, you're not going to go hungry. You're going to go shirtless. Things are not going to work. Now, what if there was a third good that everybody would want, that everybody would trade for, that won't spoil, won't go bad, you can save it for a rainy day, you have money. That's what money is. Money is just a third good that you can use as a middleman, and boom, you can get the things you want. Don't believe me? Next time you're hungry, just go to your wallet, pull out $1 and eat it. Don't spend it on, a corn dog or something, or a sandwich. Just eat your money and see how satisfied you are afterwards. So, some of the characteristics of money, the things that make money money. These are kind of the four biggies. These are the four biggies. One is portable, easily transferable from one person to another to make the exchange of money and products easier. So, there you go. It's portable. I can go somewhere, I can whip out a $20 bill, I can give it to someone else, and I can get the thing that I want from them. Go to the grocery store. I don't know, buy a computer. That's what I'm trying to buy. Second thing is durable. It does not deteriorate when it is handled. We like our money to last. You don't want to get $1 from someone, just so it can, disintegrate, go full Thanos finger snap mode. No, we want it to be around. Divisible. You can make change with it. This is actually why, you can go get a $100 bill, or you can get 100 $1 bills, or 5 $20 bills, or some, variation of that. It's divisible. You can make change. Back when some cultures would actually trade in cattle, like cattle was seen as money because they're durable, they're portable, not really divisible because, you want to buy something, you want to saw off an arm of your living cow just to, pay for a new backhoe. No, that's not going to work. So, cattle kind of falls apart right there. And then it also has to be available. So, but here's kind of the caveat. You want it available, but you only want it in a limited supply. And it has a sense of intrinsic scarcity. There's a certain bit of scarcity to it, an element of scarcity to it, that keeps it rare enough to be valuable, so it's desirous for people to trade for. But it is not so rare that people will just hang on to it forever. So that's kind of the balancing act you have to play, especially if you're going to be somebody who's going to be printing the money and stuff like that. And this is actually a real question we're having today. Go back and watch my little blurb over inflation, because this is kind of where this comes in a little bit. So some of the reasons of money, I've kind of touched on these already, but here's kind of the textbooky definitionness of it all. One, it is a medium of exchange. People are willing to accept money in exchange for goods and services. Again, I come up here and I work 8 hours a day teaching, and I'm even working a little after my contract hours to make this, partially for my classes. But again, why do I do it? Well, I do it because I get paid. No offense, if you're my principal and you're watching this, if you were to come in and say, yeah, we need you to work pro bono and out of the goodness of your heart, bye. Truth hurts. Second, it is a standard or a value or a measurement of value. So, because here's the thing, you go to the store, you see a price for something, and you make a decision. Is it worth paying that amount, or is it not worth paying that amount? Because again, you've been to that place. Everybody's done this. We've gone to buy something, we look at the price, and we think to yourself, okay, are you on Coke? And I don't mean the Coca-Cola. Because you love your stuff way too much. There's no way I'm buying that toothbrush for 50 bucks. I'm not doing it. Why? Because we don't value that toothbrush at $50. Now, if that toothbrush was made out of gold, we might want to talk about it. But these are things that we use to measure the value of something. Another example, Taco Bell or Chipotle. Why is a Taco Bell burrito cheaper than a Chipotle burrito? Well, Taco Bell burrito is smaller. It doesn't have as, good of ingredients. So we understand. If we went to Taco Bell and they were charging Chipotle prices, yeah, we're going to be like, no, bye-bye. Because the value is off. And then it is a store of value. It allows people to save for future consumption. If you've ever saved your money because you want to buy a big toy later, that's what happens. Again, I can be paid for something. You can be paid for something. We put that money in the bank. We leave it for a rainy day. And then suddenly we wake up one day and, it's Christmas time. We want to buy some Christmas gifts, or we need to buy a new kidney, or our car gets run over and we got to fix the front end of it. These things happen. Well, our money, because we can store it for a period of time, in essence, indefinitely, it can hold on to the value, theoretically, and we can use it later. I say theoretically because, again, go back and look at inflation, and we'll kind of touch on that again later. So yeah, that about wraps up this spiel. Again, bits short, because I'm kind of taking something and dividing it in half. A little bit of an experiment on my end to see if it works. But yeah, so these are the things that make money money. Because these are the things that any money, whatever it may be, whether it be a dollar, whether it be a euro, whether it be a peso, whether it be salt, pepper, gold coins, silver coins, no joke. In ancient China, tools were actually used as money before. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But money needs these qualities if it is going to be an enduring currency for us to be able to use as a means of exchange. Because again, and this is something that I tell my eco classes sometimes. Wealth is not necessarily the money you have in your bank account. Wealth is the stuff you have. So when you have money, when you get paid and you get a paycheck and all that other good stuff, when you get paid, you got money in the bank, you got a $20 bill. That $20 bill is really the best way to think about it. It is the potential to be something else. Because again, you've done this, especially when you were little, you did this. You got money from your grandmother, your parents for your birthday or something, and you're like, yay, I'm going to blow this on X. Well, to you, that money in that moment was not money in and of itself. That money was that. It was your ability to get the things you want. And again, this is why some people chase money all the time, because when they get the money, it's not about just the money. It's about what they can get with that money. And this is kind of how it works. So I'll leave it there, and I will see you next time. I'm out.